Well, first of all, thank you very much indeed for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Really appreciate it. And we're here to talk about the Women's Leadership Institute. Tell us a little bit about that and its importance and why you wanted to start it.
Well, the Women's Leadership Institute was an idea and concept that was developed about less than 18 months ago. About a year ago, we all sat around in a room and we were trying to discuss how do we put together a class that's geared towards women leaders in an organization, not just for chiefs, but also for women at every rank, to help them be able to navigate through a male-dominated occupation like police work.
And how's it been going?
I've taught on all three courses so far, and it's been an incredibly inspiring experience. Particularly the engagement of the women in the class. I think it opens a safe environment for them, and you really see them start to rise to the challenge in an environment, like I say, that is more comfortable, I think, for them, and allows them to experiment and push themselves into a stretch position, which has been great.
See, there's really a need in law enforcement. There was a class I wish they had like this when I first became a police officer, because when you're navigating through, see, I was lucky, my dad was a police officer, so he would be able to mentor me through the whole process of how to still be able to be a woman, but also to be strong and move my way through the ranks to get promoted. But you could be a leader no matter what rank in the organization. And we found there was really a need for that. There was really no women's training, leadership training out there. So the IACP developed this process. A group of us all sat down. We threw our ideas on what we would like to see and what we wouldn't like to see, and then the class was developed, and they've had, I think, 3 classes so far, and they've got 4 more planned for next year, including one in my hometown of Sarasota, Florida in January. So it's really taken off.
Well, let's pick up on a couple of those things if we could. Let's talk about that expansion plan and kind of where you hope to take this.
Yeah, the program, we do it by demand, and we've been incredibly pleased, one, that every class of the first 3 have been full with waiting lists, so 50 people in a waiting list. So it tells us a little bit about demand. We have 4 more planned for 2014. We have more requests coming in, and we intend to take it internationally as well, so we're working on that avenue. We're actually pleasantly surprised at the uptake and the support of chiefs throughout the US, Canada, and now internationally.
So what are some of the skills that your trainees would take away with them?
We're teaching a number of things. One, the principle is leading individuals, leading teams, leading organizations. So that's the framework on how the information, but we deal with ethics, we deal with race-free bias policing. We're dealing with stress management, how to be a 3-dimensional leader. So there's a number of things that link together, but the most important piece, I think, for the women is they put together their own plan for the future. And so they get an opportunity to reflect on where they are. They get an opportunity to look at where leaders have been able to make their way based on jobs they've picked up along the way. And they get to start to chart out what their future could look like and what they need to do to get there.
So there are some outstanding women leaders in law enforcement in the United States, but it is a male-dominated profession. So what can the IACP and others do to help?
Well, besides sending their women law enforcement officers to the Women's Leadership Institute and also attending the conference like the IACP, it allows the women to have a networking opportunity to gain mentors, people to help them to have role models in law enforcement, because that's so important. I wish I would have had female role models. I was lucky my dad, but to have women as fantastic as Gwen and other chiefs throughout our country to look up to and to be able to emulate and be able to pick their brain and figure out what they did and what worked and what didn't work, it's very important to the Women's Leadership Institute.
Well, thank you both very much indeed for joining us today, and best of luck with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.